You're invited to participate in a true multimedia experience coming to a home near you. LCM TV is bringing Lake County into the new millennium with news, live broadcast, information, music, talk shows, and local programming, all streaming in high definition online and soon to be on your Roku box. Join us at lcm-tv.com or be a part of our studio audience. You can also watch the shows at lakecomagazine.com as we provide programming to inform, enlighten, and maybe even enrage you. On Lake County Magazine Talk Show with Terry and Pete the Tax Guy, Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Like racing? Try the Checkered Flag Show, hosted by Ace Naylor on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. All ages and divisions in regional and national fields. Joni Lane brings a positive light to you every Monday at 3 p.m. Pasha Space brings an international flair as they discuss ecological, health, and social issues in Haiti with people around the world. End up your week with positive, conscious sounds on Saturday at 9 a.m. with Sister T on the Bridge. This show is also simulcast on KMEC 105.1 FM in Ukiah. Our latest show, LCM TV News, is brought to you live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon, and rebroadcast at 6:30 p.m. and noon daily, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday, featuring national, regional, and local news, weather, and sports. We have it all here for you on your local TV station, LCM TV. Join us online and soon on Roku, giving you access to all the best Lake County has to offer. We are LCMTV.com, your multimedia connection. Tune in for the fun. It's live TV at its best.
SSS Multimedia is sending you smoke signals, providing their clients with the ultimate communication and multimedia marketing, distribution, production, and web-based services. They feature high-def video equipment and quality audio sound. SSS is your multimedia source, from graphics for business cards to television production, radio, live sound, and everything in between. SSS is sending you smoke signals. Get your message out with SSS Multimedia. For more information, call 707-701-6416 or email info@sssmultimedia.com.
Taxman's taken all my dough and left me in my stately home, blazing on a sunny afternoon. And I can't sail my yacht, he's taken everything I got. All I've got's this sunny afternoon.
Manticorp Tax and Accounting can help you minimize taxation, establish a corporate presence, and save you money. Our over 25 years of experience in domestic and international taxation and incorporation services makes us the best at what we do. Your first consultation at Manticorp is always free, and our discounted rates guarantee you will not end up paying for what you don't get. Try Manticorp today. For more information, call 707-701-6416 or email info@manticorpusa.com.
Good day. This is LCM News TV I'm sorry, folks. This is LCM TV News at noon.
Technical problems.
I got.
Just tell me you're having technical.
We're having small difficulties here technically. We'll be back here. We're just fixing it up right now, folks. We apologize for that.
It's not there. There's nothing wrong with that camera.
Okay, for our first major story today.
That's where the loose connection is.
A major earthquake in western Nepal, where there is a pent-up pressure from the grinding between tectonic plates, the northern Eurasian plate, and the upthrusting Indian plate, hit the capital as a powerful magnitude 7.8 earthquake shook Nepal on Saturday, killing more than 3,200 people. Officials in Nepal said Sunday that most of the deaths occurred in Kathmandu and the surrounding valley. More than 6,500 people have been injured. Dozens of people are also reported to have killed in neighboring China and India. Witnesses described a chaotic rescue effort during the first few hours after the quake as emergency workers and volunteers grabbed tools and bulldozers from construction sites and dug with hacksaws, mangled reinforced bars, and their hands. The quake touched the vast expanse of the subcontinent, setting off avalanches around Mount Everest, where at least 17 climbers died, including Bay Area resident Dan Fredenberg, a Google X project manager and engineer. Buildings swayed in Tibet and Bangladesh. By mid-afternoon, the U.S. Geological Survey had counted 12 aftershocks, of which one measured 6.6. The worst damage was the oldest part of the city, which is studded with temples and palaces made of wood and unmortared brick. To help the victims of the Nepal earthquake, go to http://www.redcross.org and https://secure.savethechildren.org. Unwavering support from Capitol Hill is but one reason the CIA's killing missions are embedded in American warfare and unlikely to change significantly, despite President Obama's announcement on Thursday that a drone strike accidentally killed 2 innocent hostages, an American and an Italian. The program is under fire like never before, but the White House continues to back it, and CIA officers who built the program more than a decade ago, some of whom also led the CIA detention program that used torture in secret prisons, have ascended to the agency's powerful senior ranks. Although lawmakers insist that there is a great accountability to the program, interviews with administration and congressional officials show that Congress holds the program to less careful scrutiny than many members assert. Some of President Obama's email correspondence was accessed by Russian hackers last year in a breach of the White House's unclassified computer system. It was far more intrusive and worrisome than had been publicly acknowledged, according to senior American officials that have been briefed on the investigation. The hackers, who also got deeply into the State Department's unclassified system, do not appear to have penetrated closely guarded servers that control the message traffic from Mr. Obama's BlackBerry, which he or an aide carries consistently. But they obtained access to the email archives of people inside the White House and perhaps some outside, with whom Mr. Obama regularly communicated. From those accounts, they reached emails that the president had sent and received, according to officials briefed on the investigation. White House officials that no classified networks had been compromised and that the hackers had collected no classified information. Many senior officials have 2 computers in their offices, one operating on a highly secure classified network and the other connected to the outside world for unclassified communications. In January 2013, the Russian Atomic Energy Agency, Rosatom, had taken over a Canadian company with uranium mining stakes stretching from Central Asia to the American West. The deal made Rosatom one of the world's largest uranium producers and brought Russian President Putin closer to his goal of controlling much of the global uranium supply chain. Several leaders of the Canadian mining industry, who have been major donors to the charitable endeavors of former President Bill Clinton and his family, built, financed, and eventually sold off to the Russians a company that would become known as Uranium One. The sale gave the Russians control of 1/5 of all the uranium production capacity in the United States. Since uranium is considered a strategic asset with implications for national security, the deal had to be approved by a committee of U.S. government agencies. Among those agencies that eventually signed off was the State Department, then headed by Hillary Clinton. as the Russians gradually assumed control of Uranium One in 3 separate transactions from 2009 and to 2013, Canadian records show a flow of cash made its way to the Clinton Foundation. Uranium One's chairman used his family foundation to make 4 donations totaling $2.35 million. Other people with ties to the company made donations as well. Those contributions were not publicly disclosed by the Clintons, despite an agreement with Mrs. Clinton had struck with Obama White House to publicly identify all donors. Shortly after the Russians announced their intention to acquire a majority stake in Uranium One, Mr. Clinton received $500,000 for a Moscow speech from a Russian investment bank with links to the Kremlin and was promoting Uranium One stock. In a statement, Brian Fallon, a spokesman for Mrs. Clinton's presidential campaign, said, "No one has ever produced a shred of evidence supporting the theory that Hillary Clinton ever took action as Secretary of State to support the interests of donors to the Clinton Foundation." It appears that drones have found another use in our society. During the graveyard shift at 1:44 a.m., security cameras at a prison picked up the blinking lights of an unidentified flying object approaching the facility's fence. A corrections officer was dispatched to investigate, but by the time she got there, all she could see was a man running away from the dense forest that surrounds the prison. It was not until dawn that officers found a package that included a cell phone, tobacco, and marijuana tangled in the power lines outside the prison, and a small drone that had crashed in the bushes nearby. In the woods, investigators located a makeshift campground, the remote control device used to fly the drone, a bottle of grape-flavored Gatorade, and drugs. It is the high-tech version of smuggling a file into a prison and a birthday cake, and it underscores the headache that drones are now creating for law enforcement and national security officials, who acknowledge that they have few, if any, ways of stopping them. U.S. Attorney Paul Fishman announced Friday a Mauritius man admitted sexually abusing a sleeping woman aboard a cruise ship. Karen Sechern, 25, pleaded guilty before U.S. District Judge Esther Salas in Newark Federal Court, charging him with 1 count of abusive sexual contact. According to documents filed in this case and statements made in court, Sechern was employed by a cruise line responsible for restocking minibars in passengers' rooms. To conduct this duty, he was provided with a key that gave him access to passengers' rooms. Sechern admitted that on December 23, 2014, while he was off duty, he entered a passenger's room and encountered a sleeping woman. Sechern admitted that he touched the passenger's private parts while she was asleep. The charge Sechern pleaded guilty to carries a maximum penalty of 3 years in prison. Sentencing is scheduled for August 3, 2015. The federal government has a special maritime jurisdiction over sexually abused cases, such as those that occur on cruise ships. The NASDAQ Composite and SP 500 had recorded highs closes on Friday, driven by strong results from tech giants Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. The NASDAQ Composite ended on a second straight record high close. The S&P 500 rose to a record high close of 2,117.69 points. Amazon surged to a lifetime high after revenue beat estimates. Google ended up 2.9% higher after reporting higher quality results, while Microsoft jumped 10.45% after it topped estimates. On February 10th, Valeant Pharmaceuticals International, Inc. bought the rights to a pair of life-saving heart drugs. The same day, their list prices rose by 525% and 212% respectively. Neither of the drugs, Nitropres or Isoprel, was improved as a result of costly investment in lab work and human testing, Valeant said. Nor was manufacture of the medicine shifted to any expensive new plant. The big change, the drug's ownership, Our duty is to our shareholders to maximize the value of the products that Valeant sells, said Lori Little, a company spokeswoman. Sometimes pricing comes into it, sometimes volume comes into it. More pharmaceutical companies are buying drugs that they see as undervalued, then raising the prices. It is one of the number of industry tactics, along with companies regularly upping the price of their older medicines and launching new treatments as once unheard of sums, driving up the cost of drugs. Since 2008, branded drug prices have increased 127%, compared with 11% rise in the Consumer Price Index, according to Drug Benefits Manager. There was as much as 50% drug price increases during the previous 2.5 years as they were in the prior decade. For drug companies, price hikes offer an easy way to boost sales without years of costly, risky research to find new medicines. Profits help pay for companies' research, says Paul Howard, Director of Health Policy at the Manhattan Institute. Increases help bring the prices more in line with the value of the medicines provide to patients and hospitals, and the returns pay for manufacturing the drug. In marketing it, and even researching additional indications for the product that deliver more value to patients, he said. We'll be back in a moment, folks, with regional news.
The taxman's taken all my dough and left me in my stately home, blazing on a sunny afternoon. And I can't sail my yacht, he's taken everything I got. All I've got's this sunny afternoon.
Manticorp Tax and Accounting can help you minimize taxation, establish a corporate presence, and save you money. Our over 25 years of experience in domestic and international taxation and incorporation services makes us the best at what we do. Your first consultation at Manticorp is always free, and our discounted rates guarantee you will not end up paying for what you don't get. Try Manticorp today. For more information, call 707-701-6416 or email info@manticorpusa.com.
In the summertime.
With regional news, two Oregon Department of Correction inmates escaped from Shutter Creek Correctional Institute in North Bend, Oregon this weekend. According to prison staff, they discovered inmates Harlan Brown and Daniel Fulmer missing at 7:45 a.m. on Sunday, after they did not check in for scheduled medical appointments. Investigators said footprints were found near a section of the facility's boundary fence, indicating the two had escaped over the fence. Brown is 44 years old, 5'8", 185 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. Fulmer is 39 years old, 5'8", 165 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. They are said to be most likely wearing blue jeans with the word inmate, and the DOC logo stenciled on the knee in orange, and a blue t-shirt with the words inmate and the DOC logo stenciled in orange on the front and back. A former Lucerne man, Michael David Eichler, 36, has been charged with kidnapping and sexually assaulting a 2-year-old girl in Gardena. Eichler was arrested on April 9th and pleaded not guilty to 3 felony counts of sexual assault and is being held on a $1 million bail. He is suspected of grabbing the toddler at a car wash in Gardena on April 3rd. The girl was found, and 2.5 hours later, naked about 8 miles away in a parking lot and taken to the hospital with unspecified injuries. Over 2 years ago, on January 11, 2013, Eichler was living in Lucerne and was booked into Lake County Jail on 3 counts, including inflicting corporal injury on an intimate partner and a sexual incident involving a minor. Corinthian Colleges is closing all of its 28 ground campuses less than 2 weeks after the U.S. Department of Education announced it was fining the for-profit institution $30 million for misrepresentation. This includes Heald College campuses in California, along with Wyotech schools, which specialize in training students for careers in automotive technology. Senator Mike McGuire has introduced a bill to close a loophole in a 21-year-old state law that could allow new offshore oil development, possibly exposing the beaches and economy of California's 840-mile coast to the devastating impact of an offshore oil spill. The bill, called the California Coastal Protection Act of 2015, is supported by the Sierra Club, the Environmental Defense Fund, and the Union of Concerned Scientists. Average California gas prices have jumped 17 cents in the past 2 weeks to $3.23. The national average gas price is up 13 cents to $2.58. Los Angeles has the highest priced gas in the continental United States at $3.30 a gallon, while in Tucson, Arizona has the largest average price at $2.20 a gallon. Excuse me, folks, I meant the lowest average price. The Willits City Council passed a resolution requesting no pesticides or herbicides to be used on the Willits Bypass project. According to a mid-April Caltrans update, the project is 67% complete. On 4/20, the California Senate Business and Professions Committee approved a medical marijuana regulation bill, SB 643, by Senator Mike McGuire from the North Coast. The bill would establish a comprehensive licensing system for cultivation, distribution, transportation, processing, manufacturing, and testing of medical marijuana as of July 1st, 2018. CalNormal has asked that the bill be amended to provide better protection for existing medical cannabis collectives. The Assembly Agriculture Committee approved AB 243 by Assemblyman Jim Woods from Healdsburg, which would require all medical cannabis grows to follow existing environmental laws and be permitted by the state. The bill was supported by a broad coalition of environmental and government interests, as well as by a large and enthusiastic contingent of growers led by the Emerald Growers Association. CalNormal joined Americans for Safe Access and Crusaders for Patient Rights in opposing the bill, unless amended to delete a requirement that individual patients get permits to grow. CalNormal attorneys regard this measure to be unconstitutional limitation on Prop 215 patients' rights. Newly amended language makes exemptions for personal-sized gardens supplying up to 5 patients. Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom convened a public meeting of his Blue Ribbon Commission on Marijuana Legalization in LA on April 21st. I'm not convinced on this subject or any topic that we can build unanimity, folks, but we can respect each other's opinion, he said. If you want to move fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. Next up are forums on youth education and prevention in San Francisco on May 9th, and on taxation and regulation in Fresno on June 3rd. May 19th, sorry folks. They also have planned to have a meeting in Humboldt. In 90 days or so, the group will come out with a final report. Find out more and provide input at https://www.safeandsmartpolicy.org. Lena Mickey Jacobs Coombs was sentenced yesterday to 36 months in prison on wire fraud charges related to her embezzlement of money from her former employer, which was Symatic. Coombs, 48, of Highland, Utah, pleaded guilty. Sorry, folks, having a little technical problems again. Anyway, Coombs, 48, of Highland, Utah, pleaded guilty on December 16, 2014, to 1 count of wire fraud. From January 2010 through April 2012, she was employed by Symantec as a director of marketing and worked at Symantec's Linden, Utah facility outside of Salt Lake City. Coombs admitted in her plea agreement that between January 2010 and May 2012, she used various methods to embezzle a total of over $1.137 million from Symantec. Sorry again, folks. Sometimes I just don't pronunciate well. For example, Coombs charged personal and other unauthorized expenses on Symantec American Express cards and then knowingly submitted fraudulent expense reports to disguise these charges as legitimate business expenses. Coombs also submitted fraudulent invoices, falsely claiming that a shell company she had created had done marketing for Symantec. Don't know why, folks. Having trouble with that one. Coombs then diverted the payments on those fraudulent invoices for her personal use. Coombs further admitted that she spent these embezzled Symantec funds on various personal expenses, such as trips to Hawaii and the 2012 Super Bowl in Indianapolis, concerts, a home remodel, automobile payments, and personal nanny. Coombs was indicted by a federal grand jury on June 11, 2014, on wire fraud and money laundering charges. She was also sentenced to serve a 3-year period of supervised release in order to pay restitution in the amount of over $900,000. Local news is next, folks. We'll be back in a few minutes.
SSS Multimedia is sending you smoke signals, providing their clients with the ultimate communication and multimedia marketing, distribution, production, and web-based services. They feature high-def video equipment and quality audio sound. SSS is your multimedia source, from graphics for business cards to television production, radio, live sound, and everything in between. SSS is sending you smoke signals. Get your message out with SSS Multimedia. For more information, call 707-701-6416 or email info@sssmultimedia.com.
You are invited to participate in a true multimedia experience coming to a home near you. LCM TV is bringing Lake County into the new millennium with news, live broadcast, information, music, talk shows, and local programming, all streaming in high definition online and soon to be on your Roku box. Join us at lcm-tv.com or be a part of our studio audience. You can also watch the shows at lakecomagazine.com as we provide programming to inform, enlighten, and maybe even enrage you. On Lake County Magazine Talk Show with Terry and Pete the Tax Guy, Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Like racing? Try the Checkered Flag Show, hosted by Ace Naylor on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. All ages and divisions in regional and national fields. Joni Lane brings a positive light to you every Monday at 3 p.m. Pasha Space brings an international flair as they discuss ecological, health, and social issues in Haiti with people around the world. End up your week with positive, conscious sounds on Saturday at 9 a.m. with Sister T on the Bridge. This show is also simulcast on KMEC 105.1 FM in Ukiah. Our latest show, LCM TV News, is brought to you live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon, and rebroadcast at 6:30 p.m. and noon daily, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday, featuring national, regional, and local news, weather, and sports. We have it all here for you on your local TV station, LCM TV. Join us online and soon on Roku, giving you access to all the best Lake County has to offer. We are LCMTV.com, your multimedia connection. Tune in for the fun. It's live TV at its best.
And welcome back, folks. We're having a small technical difficulty once again, so I want to go back to the drone and inmate story. We had an old adage that said, hide a file in a cake, and that way the prisoners can break out. Now we have new technology where drones are flying over the fences with marijuana, other types of drugs, cell phones, which are extremely popular in prison. And that is now replacing the old tennis ball trick.
What is that?
In Arizona especially, friends and family would come at night near the fence without leaving tracks, and they'd put their contraband in multiple tennis balls and literally throw them over the fence when it was still dark out, and then with security being limited at that time. So I find it humorous now that the drones are now replacing good old initiative or ingenuity by taking tennis balls out of the picture. I don't know, I find it fascinating personally. What's also interesting that these inmates actually left footprints in the sand, because every prison has sand around the borders. So for them to leave footprints was kind of silly.
Oh, they actually saw the guy running away.
Yeah, so.
That's what's really silly.
Yeah, so anyway, we're almost back with our technical difficulties, folks. As you know, our show is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can find a repeat of the show at lakecomagazine.com under the 2015 archive file. And you'll be able to see all of our prior news shows, our Lake County Magazine talk show, along other shows that we have on LCM TV.
Talk about some of the other shows.
Coming up at 3 o'clock today, we have Joni Lane with A Positive Light. I hope she'll be on live at 3 o'clock, and her show is for 1 hour. Tomorrow evening, starting at 7 o'clock, we have the Checkered Flag Show with Ace Naylor.
That's going to be a repeat.
Oh, it will be a repeat.
That's a repeat? Okay, thank you for that. So we're almost there, folks.
Don't forget our show on Wednesdays.
Okay, of course, we have our own show with Terry Larson and myself, Pete the Tax Guy, from 9 to 12 Wednesday morning, where we discuss many, many subjects regarding the local economy, politics, and social events that occur down here.
This is taking so long. It's not happening.
I know. On Saturday evening, we went to a event down in the Clear Lake Youth Center.
Dance with your kids.
That was called Dance with Your Kid, sponsored by Randall Cole and his nonprofit organization.
Coltrane Foundation.
Coltrane Foundations, I was just told. There's probably a turnout of about 75 to 100 people. Very good showing, and it was very interesting to see even the little children, 4, 5, 6 years of age, dancing with their parents and with others during the event. Let's see what else happened. On Sunday, the Redwood Baseball League, that's based out of Santa Rosa, where players from 18 to 70 odd years old play every weekend.
We're sorry, folks. You got to listen to this.
It's okay, folks. It's just a little bit of information we're providing you.
We're almost there.
My team, the Seals, lost the third straight game, 3-2. Though we had bases loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the ninth, yet we could not get this run in. A ball was hit to center field that was caught, and we had a chance to tie up and have a sacrifice to home plate. Unfortunately, the runner went halfway to home plate, then came back, and by that time it was too late to tag up and score.
Hopefully we can't go fast.
That unfortunately diminished our chance of winning, and we got another final out, and we lost the game 3-2. The Redwood Baseball League is open for anyone age 18 and over, several different divisions of age groups, including a 55 and older group, where actually we have a tremendous amount of ex-professional ball players in our division.
Don't forget you want to start a league here.
We have all the intentions to start a league here, even if it's just 1 or 2 teams, where we then go down to Santa Rosa to compete. So anyone's interested in playing baseball, not softball folks, but baseball, that is 55 and over, you can contact us at 707-701-6416. That's again 707-701-6416. So if any of you have played baseball in the past, would like to start the game up again, it doesn't matter if you have professional experience or not, we're happy to have you guys call us and see if we can get you on our team. All right, folks, we're almost there. We've almost fixed the minor technical problem. And again, we do apologize for this delay, but when you do live TV, things like this do happen. And we're doing our best to minimize the technical difficulties on our shows. Okay, we're almost there. Last story coming through, folks, and I'll be able to start on local news. Once again, thank you for your patience.
Operator error.
It's always going to be entertaining at the least.
Yes, you never know what to expect with us on our shows. Be it our show on the news show, be it LCM Talk Show.
That's live TV.
We're always there to cause some controversy and make things a little bit different for our viewers and readers. And you haven't checked out Lake Home Magazine recently. We have some tremendous articles up there that have drawn a lot of attention.
Part 4 of Bruce's.
Yes, we have part 4 of Bruce Forsyth's story on his accusations on media attacks and accusations by John Jensen of Lake Co News that he had hacked their website. No charges have been brought forth, and he's had all his equipment returned to him. Okay, now back to local news, folks. Thank you for your patience. More than a dozen union golf course workers began a strike last Tuesday morning, claiming unfair labor practice against the Hidden Valley Lake Association. The 13 picketers gathered at various entrance points, waving at passing cars and cheering at those who honked. They are on strike with the hope of reestablishing negotiations for their contract that first expired on October 31st, then again on December 3rd after an extension was issued. The union has also filed a formal complaint before the National Labor Relations Board, in which they state the association has been engaging in unfair labor practices as set forth in the National Labor Release Act. The Lake County Sheriff's Department received approval from the Board of Supervisors during the April 21st meeting to purchase 11 new WatchGuard brand mobile audio video units, or MAVs, to be installed in a new set of pursuit vehicles the department purchased from Ukiah Ford. These units are the devices inside the pursuit vehicles that record the deputies' activities, aiding in evidence collection and the recording of statements for later use. The expenditure is estimated to cost $71,518. Sheriff Brian Martin requested the Board of Supervisors waive the formal bidding process, as an older model of the devices are already in use in the LCSD vehicles. Habitat for Humanity, Lake County, dedicated its 18th home on April 18th, welcoming Angela Philpott, Jeremy Cutoff, and their children as Habitat partner families. It's hard to put into words, we're still in shock, Philpott said. God has blessed us with a safe home for the girls, and we're so grateful and appreciative to everyone who helped make this possible. It just hasn't hit us yet that this is really real. Volunteers, staff, friends, and family joined in celebration at noon in their Clear Lake home, sharing food, good wishes, and words of welcome and encouragement to the family as they embark on their new life as homeowners. President Richard Burke spoke about the needs of the community and how each individual could contribute to make a difference in the lives of others before sharing a brief key passing ceremony and fellowship with all the guests in attendance. For information on how you can become a Habitat for Humanity homeowner or for an application, visit lakehabitat.org. Again, lakehabitat.org. Or contact the Habitat for Humanity office at 707-994-1100. Mendocino College Lake Center, along with the Lake County Friends of Mendocino College, is holding the first alumni reception for former Lake County Mendocino College graduates and students on May 2nd from 2 to 4 p.m. Guest speakers will include Lake County Supervisor Anthony Farrington, Attorney Michelle Wells Trigger, and Mendocino College Professor Lily Wohl. Attendees can meet, mingle, and network with fellow alumni, share their stories, and add business cards and photos to the center's wall of fame. Refreshments and tours of the campus will be available, with a chance to win Mendocino College gifts with a spin of a prize wheel. Those who wish to attend should RSVP to lcfmc.weebly.com. That's www.lcfmc.weebly.com. Mendocino College Lake Center is located at 2565 Parallel Drive in Lakeport. The May 7th free Spring Health Fair, hosted by Nature's Food Center in Lakeport, is about more than food, although there will be plenty of samples. The event will also feature demonstrations and a chance to connect with local suppliers, which will give attendees an opportunity to find answers to questions about healthy products. Highlights of the day will include a kombucha bar, a rebounding exercise demo, vegan, vegetarian protein drink samples, and drawings for healthy gift baskets. Nature's Food Center is at 360 Lakeport Boulevard, and the May 7th event runs from noon to 7 p.m. Friends and Family Productions is seeking vendors, nonprofits, volunteers, and sponsors for the Rock On concert to be held on Saturday, June 13th at Jellystone Park on Cobb Mountain. The concert will feature 4 local rock bands, the Fargo Brothers, Johnny Tsunami, and the Hurricanes, Beats Workin', and the Hillary and Milton. Attendees are invited to bring their own acoustic instruments for the drum circle afterward. Tickets are $15 at the entrance. Children 12 and under are free. Advanced tickets for $13 can be purchased at Jellystone Park, the Spot Juice Bar in Middletown, Watershed Books in Lakeport, and Sphinx Urban Clothing in Clear Lake. For information about camping at Jellystone Park, call 928-4322. To become a vendor, volunteer, or sponsor, email tinasjules1111@gmail.com. For concert updates, go to the Facebook page, Friends and Family Productions. This family-friendly concert is planned in partnership with the Time Bank of Thrive Lake County and the management of Jellystone Park. Future concerts will focus on other music genres. Lake County is home to thousands of rattlesnakes, and with the warmer weather, residents are reporting seeing them. They are common in the Highland Springs area and on Cow Mountain. Rattlesnakes are often seen on the disc golf course at Highland Springs. Other areas where you might run into rattlers include Mount Canocti and Indian Valley Reservoir. Just about every location in Lake County, with the exception of the high country such as Hull and Snow Mountains, holds a good number of rattlesnakes. According to the Department of Fish and Wildlife, the rattlesnake is the state's only venomous snake. There are 7 different species of rattlesnake in California. The most common one in Lake County is the Northern Pacific. In weather, a spring storm brought rain to Northern California on Saturday, along with snow in Yosemite National Park. Nearly an inch of rain was reported in Sacramento, along with more than a foot of snow at the Tahoe area ski resorts. Much of the San Francisco Bay Area received a half to 1 inch of rain, but it wasn't enough to do much for the extreme drought here in California. Locally, today we're going to have sunny skies with a high near 85. Winds should be from the northeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. This evening, we'll have mostly clear skies with lows around 53. Again, winds will be light and variable and no chance of rain. Tuesday, except for a few afternoon clouds, it'll be mainly sunny with highs around 80. Winds from the west at 10 to 20 miles an hour, and once again, no chance of rain. Tuesday night, some clouds early will give way to generally clear conditions overnight. Lows will be approximately 49 degrees Fahrenheit, with winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Wednesday, it'll again be sunny, high around 80. Winds will be out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, with 0 chance of rain. In sports, after sweeping the Los Angeles Dodgers last week, the San Francisco Giants took on the Colorado Rockies in Colorado over the weekend. On Friday, the Rockies took the first game of the series by a score of 6-4. On Saturday, however, the Giants got their revenge by winning 5-4. Sunday's game was postponed due to weather, which is to be expected in Colorado at this time of year. The Giants have gone 5-5 over the last 10 games and are still in last place in the division, but still only 3.5 games out of first place. The Oakland A's took on the Houston Astros over the weekend. The Astros, who are in first place in their division, swept the A's, whose record fell to 8-12. They have now lost the last 4 games and are now 4 games out of first place. Locally, in a battle between Lake County's 2 softball frontrunners, the Clear Lake Cardinals beat the Lower Lake Trojans 5-1 on Friday afternoon in Lower Lake. This puts them in sole possession of first place in the North Central League 1 standings. While Clear Lake, Cloverdale, and Lower Lake are all tied with 1 loss each, Clear Lake is now 7-1 in the league to Cloverdale 6-1 and Lower Lake's 5-1. Lower Lake still has 1 game left with Clear Lake and 2 with Cloverdale. Clear Lake and Cloverdale split their season series 1-1. The Cardinals won their 7th straight NCL1 decision with the pitching of junior Rochelle Wingler and the hitting of Hannah Norwood and pitch hitter Maddie West. Wingler limited Lower Lake's hard-hitting offense to just 3 hits, all singles. Other scores were Fort Bragg 8, Kelseyville 3, St. Helena 10, and Middletown 4. In local baseball, Clear Lake beat Lower Lake 13-0. The undefeated Clear Lake Cardinals shut out the Lower Lake Trojans, who are now 1-9 in conference play, 3-15 overall, on a combined 2-hitter by Clear Lake pitchers Jordan Chena, who has won the game, and relievers Dylan Williams and Nate Jones, who are making his varsity debut. Clear Lake, the defending NCL1 champion, is now 8-0 in league play and 17-0 overall. Now for our last word. Last Thursday in Petaluma, a would-be burglar entered a home, heated up some tater tots, and then fell asleep on the sofa. When the resident of the house went downstairs and saw him sleeping, she went back to her bedroom and called the police, then ran out the front door. The burglar woke up, ran out the back door, and the police caught him. They were unable to retrieve the tater tots. Sorry, folks. I thought that was kind of cute. Thanks for joining us, folks. LCM TV News can be seen Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon live, and here at lcm-tv.com, and anytime on the archive page at lakecomagazine.com. Please join us again on Wednesday. Our next live program will be aired at 3 p.m. with Joni Lane and A Positive Light. Have a great day, and thank you for tolerating our technical difficulties. Have a good one, folks.